Hello. For my last reader's response, I did Geronimo Stilton and the Phantom of the Subway. I did this because it was actually my favorite childhood book growing up, or one of them, and I just thought it was so interesting. I listened to it on audiobook, I read it, I just had this attachment to all Geronimo Stilton books, but this one I always listen to, and I think and I'm looking at it now and analyzing it, and I'm seeing these amazing, colored pictures and how they kind of match with the text and make it an engaging read. So that's part of why I think I liked it so much. But also, and the fun words, but also I think it's to emphasize points, but also I think it's the other reason I liked it is because I think it kind of alleviated my fears about things in a lot of ways, about monsters under my bed or ghosts, because the plot is essentially that, and this is very much a fiction novel meant for young children. But the plot is essentially that Geronimo Stilton, who's a mouse who works for the Rodents Gazette, he lives in a mouse world, and his sister Thea tells him that there's a phantom in the subway, there's a ghost. And so, of course, he has to uncover it. He has to uncover this problem. He's always the protagonist, always the hero. And so I remember this part very clearly too, before I even looked at it again, as when I was a child, when he is so scared of the subway and of the dark and the drippiness of it, and just how scary it could be, and and that's a lot of my fears growing up. And then he talks about how this phantom is in the subway, and it used to always scare me a little bit, and I used to always think of whether there's a monster in my realm, but then at the end the phantom turns out to be a cat. And so having that big scary monster become a cat at the end, just a cat, even though Geronimo was still very scared of cats, it was actually humorous to me, and would be to most child readers, I think, when he's like, a cat, I hate cats, right? And so, but it's this scary thing that you believe to be scary that turns out to be silly. And from that point, I just started to, imagine that the monster I thought was in my room was a silly monster, was a cat, right? And so I think with all that, and so there's a lot of plot points that happen throughout the book, little plot points that, aren't really relevant to the summary, but, Geronimo, at many points doubts himself and his abilities to solve this problem. And so, I think this book can really be carried with a theme of, of conquering our fears, and the way that, this fear of Geronimo is conquered is by him and his ability to, continue to persist as he's scared of this monster. And in the end, that works out for him. And I think seeing that pattern for kids is going to help them to realize, I'm going to conquer my fear, and in the end, it's just going to be a cat. I'm bigger than this. And so, it's just a really inspiring book in hidden, disguised by its, its childhood glamour and its fun illustrations. But in reality, it really has a deeper meaning, in my belief, because it helped me so much as a child. And so with all that said, I would analyze this as a quality piece of literature. Its illustrations are on point. There's a very symmetrical relationship between them and the meaning of the text. It has didacticism embedded in its purpose. It's trying to teach kids that it's okay to be scared. It's okay but also it's important to conquer our fears, and how in the end that will usually work out for us. The APA citation is attached, and this is a wonderful, wonderful story. It was written by Elizabeth Domy and is truly one of my favorites. Thank you.